talking about all these helpful hints. We've got some people here interested in your outcome. All of you. What was the best tip that you've been given so far, whether it be from our suppliers at Delish, nutritionists, dietitians, your expert trainer there? It's the best tip that you've learned that you can pass along today.
Well, I think the most consistent tip is it's 90% what you put in your mouth. You can work out. I'm working out with this one girl at the gym, and she has a personal trainer, and she's busting, she's working out all the time, and she just won't lose weight because of what she puts in her mouth. So I think 90% is the consistency that's what will take it off. I mean, you do need the resistance training for your balance and core strength, but...
Was there anything last night that Richard Simmons said to you that is going to stay?
Yeah, he told me not to quit, and I mean, I think this is the first time in my life where I actually do have more days than not to say don't quit to myself.
He inspired so many people last night. I wish you all could have been there. Just to see him, he makes something like 500 phone calls in a week to people to motivate them and help out. He keeps in touch with people who have gained weight, lost weight, gained weight, and told us a story last night about a woman who just continuously gained weight until she was over 400 pounds and ended up having to have one of her feet removed because of blood clots and infection because she could no longer walk. So when you start hearing about that, she's now basically in a nursing home, he said, and she'll never walk again. So this is why we have to start taking care of ourselves, and that alone to me was motivation to dump my chocolate chip cookie that I had in my purse in the garbage when I left. So words of wisdom. Let's wrap up with you, Tina, for again, people watching. We're filming this for our website. Some of those words of wisdom for anybody watching right now that has a few pounds to lose.
Something that Richard shared with me last night when we were chatting at the end of the workout and so on was to be true to yourself. You need to do this for yourself to be healthy, first of all. You need to be healthy, and he said, happiness comes from the inside out, and that's true. Once you get those things in order, then you can start to work on the rest, and I think a lot of things, thankfully for me, have kind of fallen into place, and thanks to all of our wonderful sponsors that have helped us out with Delish, I've been able to learn some new cooking things and so on. I have a pretty busy and active life, and planning ahead is really key. Plan your meals ahead. Write them down on sit down on Sunday evening, and if you have a family, plan them with your family and what's going to work, and base that around your schedule. Make things ahead of time. But a little bit of planning, a little bit of effort will pay off huge in the end.
All right, so we're going to open it up. If you have any questions, I'm going to be greedy here and ask my first question to all of you, whoever wants to answer this. I am so bad that I cannot resist what I love, and that's sweet. So if one of you came up to me and said, here's the cookies by George, do you want one? I could not say no. If you offered me a brownie, I could not say no. If you offered me a bag of chips or pretzels or anything salty, I don't want that. And even yesterday, I'll share a secret because I know she's going to talk about it next week. Cheryl, one of our other contestants, I walked her to the front. Yesterday you saw the big flood. I don't know if you've seen it, but out in the main lobby of the Mayfield, there's a huge flood. So in order to say sorry to everybody that was going through there, the Mayfield offered coffee and cookies. I'm talking those enormous cookies they serve. I'm walking by, I stop. Cheryl, would you like a coffee? And she says, oh no, I'm good. Well, I grab a coffee. I said, Cheryl, would you like a cookie? Now this is to one of our contestants. How rude of me to offer her a cookie. And she just said, no thank you. And I said, I'm impressed. I'll grab yours and mine. Thanks very much. So I grabbed two of them. I could not resist. I took hers and mine. How can I stop just grabbing? What do I do, you guys?
I can answer that one.
Okay, please do, Robin.
Well, when you have sugar, your body craves sugar all day. It's kind of the mentality, like for some smokers, if they don't have a smoke all day, they might not crave it as bad as if they have one, then they're hooped, right?
Right.
So basically, if you're used to always having sugar, your body's telling you, Seanna, you need that sugar.
But do I need 2 cookies? I gotta stop. So it's telling me, so if I don't even start with it, I should be okay.
Right, I think that if you didn't eat sugar really at all, that you wouldn't even crave it anymore. Because I used to be a total sugar fiend, and now I don't need it. And actually, in fact, I try and avoid it, because as soon as I do have sugar, I want it for the rest of the day. I'm looking for that sugar.
Okay, so don't start with it. And also too, the longer you go without it, I heard when you go back to tasting it, you go, ooh, that tastes terrible. Okay, because I'm a double-double girl too. I could have the sugar in the coffee.
Well, and it probably doesn't even taste very sweet to you anymore. But
No.
if you even went a week without having one and you went back to it, because I used to be a double-double girl too.
Yeah, and now you're not?
No.
Oh, I got to start hanging around with our challengers here. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Because I can give out to you. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, these ladies are on the quest of their life, and they can help you with anything. Yes, ma'am. What is your question? Do you keep track of everything you eat?
When we started, we were encouraged by one of the nutritionists that we had contact with for the first few days to keep track. I think it was 3 days they asked us to do, to keep track of everything. To be honest with you now, I really don't keep track of everything, but like I said a few minutes ago, we do meal planning, and I plan ahead to what I'm going to eat for the week, and I really, really work hard at sticking to that plan. And I think that that's probably the best way to keep track.
And maybe even have a few little snacks in your purse, but healthy snacks, apples, fruit.
I love sensations. They're my new favorite.
Okay, hey, anything that works. Robin?
I think that it's very important to up your protein and decrease your carbs. Carbs are the thing that tastes good, right? I used to only eat carbs. You wouldn't have caught me dead even eating a piece of steak or fish ever. Once in a while I'd have chicken. But now I've taken my carbs down a lot and now I find too, if I have a carbohydrate and I'm not going to go work out or do something, I feel full and heavy for the rest of the night, even if it's a small portion. So you got to really reassess your carbohydrates, and also 6 times a day, 5-6 times a day of having something, even if it's grabbing just a yogurt or just a handful of nuts or something just to get that protein in your body.
That's the most important thing. So dump the carbs and the pasta. Well, Oprah said many times too, anything white shouldn't go in your mouth. So things like that. Well, I remember one thing from a dietitian once. She brought in a huge plate of baked potatoes. Just, threw them in the microwave, baked. There must have been 12 potatoes on this plate. And then she brought in 15 French fries, and they had been done in grease. And she said, well, why don't you have the French fries? And I'm like, yeah. And she goes, they have just as much fat and calories and bad stuff in those 15 French fries that were done in oil than these 12 baked potatoes. I could eat all those baked potatoes and still not have the fat that were in those 15 French fries.
But there is such thing as good fats.
There's good fats, and you have to have good fats. And what are some of the good fats? Like the almonds, anything that's good that way.
Or even grapeseed oil, olive oil,
flaxseed, things like that. So that's where you want your good fats. And then another thing was your Caesar salad. We all, I think, love this Caesar salad. Ooh, that's loaded. That's loaded. You can have an entire meal that is healthy for you with a steak, vegetables, a very small potato, dessert, a salad. You can have all of that, or you can have a small Caesar salad because of all that. So a few little things I've learned.
Green salad is definitely the way to go. And if you're out eating in a restaurant, because of what I do, I sometimes go out with clients for lunch and so on. Order the dressing on the side. Little things like that make a huge difference. And I found that when I order dressing on the side, I put very little dressing on that salad. Whereas normally they'll bring it just coated with oil.
Smothered.
Yeah.
Another thing my girlfriend does, she has it on the side and she dips her fork in the dressing first and then dips her fork in the salad. So that way she doesn't put any dressing on her salad whatsoever. And she says you are amazed at how much dressing is left over that you would have probably dumped on your salad. So.
Or the other nice thing too is if you have time at home, it's real quick and simple just to make your own dressings. Just use a little bit of oil, vinegar, seasoning. It's better than
strawberries and blueberries.
Yeah.